Today, I'm calling on Justin Trudeau to resign. He has to go. Right now, Canadians are struggling with the cost of living. I hear it everywhere I go. People cannot find a home that they can afford. They can't buy their groceries. And on top of that, we have Trump threatening tariffs at 25%, which put hundreds and thousands of Canadian jobs at risk. And instead of focusing on these issues, Justin Trudeau and the Liberals are focused on themselves. They're fighting themselves instead of fighting for Canadians. And for that reason, today I'm calling on Justin Trudeau to resign. He has to go.
Prime Minister, are you going to remain in office, sir?
No, what gives you the right to continue? What gives you the right to stay in office?
Thank you.
You failed Canada. You've ruined our country. You're done. Walk away. You don't have an ounce of your father's integrity. At least he walked in the snow. You've ruined this country. Everyone around you is running from you. You're abandoning you. Christian Freeland, Sean Fraser, they've all left you. It's time for you to go. It's time for Canada to have an election. You're not the king.
Okay, that's the Prime Minister getting into his motorcade. I do not know who was shouting those questions, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say it wasn't a member of the Parliamentary Press Gallery.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. We got to talk about Canada because it seems as if the Liberal government is on the verge of complete and total collapse as Justin Trudeau's finance minister has resigned after Trump's threats of tariffs, okay? And this story right here about Justin Trudeau and the collapsing of his government in Canada, I think is a good example of what is happening across the world when it comes to the pushback against these ultra-leftist governments, right? Across the world, we're seeing the people speak out and say, no, we don't want any more of the problems that have been caused by these lunatics running our country. Okay, it happened in the United States. We rejected Kamala Harris, which is something that Justin Trudeau is clearly upset about, right? He's mad about the United States not selecting or electing the first female president.
Just a few weeks ago, the United States voted for a second time to not elect its first woman president. Everywhere, women's rights and women's progress is under attack, overtly and subtly. But I want you to know that I am, and always will be, a proud feminist. You will always have an ally in me and in my government.
You also have some of these same issues in Canada that caused the American people to reject Kamala Harris: inflation and immigration. Two things that Canadians are extremely worried about. And because of that, Justin Trudeau is facing a whole lot of pressure, right? That on top of the fact that Trump basically sunned him. Trump essentially made him bend the knee at Mar-a-Lago over the threat of tariffs. Yeah, that was the final nail in Justin Trudeau's coffin. So it seems, because allegedly he could be resigning at any minute. So without further ado, let's get into this.
Justin Trudeau looks set to resign after two of his ministers resigned within minutes of each other. Here is the opposition leader, Pierre Poilievre, explaining, whilst on the floor of Parliament, the chaos that ensued and has led to him possibly standing down any minute now.
The finance minister resigned the day she was to present the fall budget, which was going to contain a massive deficit overrun. The job then went automatically to the industry minister, who immediately resigned, like on the spot, which then went down the line, and the next person in order was the famous two Randys. Why won't the Prime Minister have the courage to come in here, present it himself, and put it for a confidence vote tonight?
Now, this is very exciting because if Trudeau does indeed go down, it's going to lead to elections where Conservatives are highly likely to romp it in. And it's very interesting, Gabby, because this came about with his finance minister because she and he had a disagreement about Trump saying, I'm going to slap 25% tariffs on all goods coming from Canada unless you guys get your border under control and stop trafficking drugs and people. Thank you very much. So she had a falling out with him, so we can actually thank Trump for what looks like deposing a useless leader in his neighboring country.
Yeah, and that's wild. That's wild to think about. Trump is the man. Trump is the man. This is why the American people elected him to be our leader, right? because Trump makes shit happen, man. Right? That's just the honest to God truth. Trump basically put the final nail in Justin Trudeau's coffin, right? And then danced over it, right? Danced over it. Said that Canada is a state, okay? If you guys are dependent on us, then why is it that you're not a state? Canada should be a state and Justin Trudeau should be the governor, since you're so dependent on the United States of America. This is wild. This is absolutely wild. You would never see this type of leadership from a Democrat, right? Trump has essentially paved the way for the conservative government in Canada to take over, right? That's what he's done. That's what he's done. And it's amazing. It really is.
Heard from Trump as well. He's come out, of course, trolling in true Trump style, calling Justin Trudeau Governor Justin Trudeau. But it's funny because Justin Trudeau just a couple of weeks ago was calling himself a feminist and saying how sad it was that America rejected electing a female president not once but twice. And then here he is having a thought with his female finance minister. But, you know, I think this is the Trump effect in action happening that we're seeing over in Canada as well, because Justin Trudeau has just been known as being a woke leader. With his, if you look at his track record, it's for the he's got a carbon tax, he's decriminalised weed. What else? He's got the immigration crisis in Canada as well. We're going to play a bit of Justin Trudeau. Should we do it now?
Yeah.
Here he is with his grand plan about plastic bottles.
And what do you and your family do to cut back on plastics?
We have recently switched to drinking water bottles out of when we have water bottles out of plastic. Away from plastic towards paper, like drink box water bottles, sort of things.
Paper water bottles, there you go. You know, I saw a poll recently that said that Justin Trudeau is heading to be one of the worst prime ministers on record. That's how Canadians are feeling at the moment. There's vision of him getting heckled. I don't think too many people are going to be sad to see him go.
No one's going to be sad to see this finance minister go, because this is the witch that froze the accounts of peaceful protesters during the Canadian... They were just protesting the Canadian government's tyrannical measures during the pandemic. Yeah. She went so far as to freeze their accounts. So more goodbye and good riddance to bad rubbish.
Yeah, I've got more of an issue with the fact that Justin Trudeau just looks so insufferably smug all the time. Yeah. And when you combine that with his very French surname, that's a toxic combination.
What's worse, the French surname? Or?
Well, I think they go together. I think
loves to hate the French.
The French surname fuels the smugness, and the smugness fuels the Frenchiness. And the whole thing just is a...
You found the root cause of the issue here.
It's terrible, absolutely terrible. And he is, I suppose, his new party was emblematic of, he's the son of Pierre Trudeau, of course, a former prime minister. So his new party was emblematic of that sort of middle tealy kind of, middle sort of centrist, rich elite, progressive types that I find very, 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 very nauseating.
They're insufferable, right? They're insufferable. They're the same type of people that are running the Democrat Party right here in America. But as this woman mentioned, we cannot forget what happened during the pandemic. Okay, the tyrannical lockdowns from Justin Trudeau's government, and then trying to freeze the bank accounts of the protesters, right? Financially punish them for exercising their free speech rights, which I'm not sure if that exists in Canada, right? We all know that in these other countries, they don't exactly have a First Amendment, okay? So, they were exercising their ability to speak out against the government, and the government financially punished them for it, right? Just straight tyranny. Straight tyranny. And it's just so crazy to see how all these individuals are now facing consequences. They're resigning, they're quitting, and Justin Trudeau's government is collapsing. It's collapsing. So, hey, I'm excited for the Canadian people, my Canadian brothers and sisters, extremely excited. I hope that the conservative coalition takes over and go from there. And I hope that we have better relations, right, between both countries. That's kind of where I'm at this point. So it's just hilarious to see the power of Trump. Trump is not even president yet, but yet he clearly he is the only leader that the United States has, because the guy that actually is supposed to be president, he's nowhere to be found, right? He's MIA, and Trump is essentially already running the country. Okay, he's already running the country. It's crazy how that works. It really is. The man is incredible. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.